All right, everyone. We are here, but not there. I just wanted to. We are here at OSU Hospital in Columbus. My father-in-law is having surgery today, so I don't have my coffee. So, good morning, Cheryl. How's everything there in Indiana? Send us some warm weather, will you? It was cold this morning. I've got my little energy drink here with me today, but I don't really have a topic. Hey, good morning, Allison. Like I said, I'm here at OSU Hospital. My father-in-law is having surgery today. He fell. He's 85 years old. He fell and broke his femoral knob. That's the little bone that attaches to the hip socket. So they're doing surgery, putting a screw in it today. So good morning, Jennifer. And so we're here, but I don't really have a topic for us today. But so if anybody has any suggestions, something they want to talk about, bring it up. But there is something I want to talk about, and that's what I refer to as the half-life of enthusiasm. So when we're talking with people about water safety, different things like that, when there's enthusiasm, it's kind of what I refer to as strike when the iron's hot. When they are at the point of their most excited, typically you will lose 50% of people will lose 50% of their enthusiasm about an idea or concept that we might be talking to them about. So if we're talking about water safety, making a proposal, inviting them into our inner circle, asking them to be part of our mission, whatever the case is, and then they get excited about that. We need to strike while the iron's hot, so that way they will, make that decision. But when we let them go and they walk away from us, then there's a half-life to that. So within 24 hours, they lose about 50% of their enthusiasm. The other thing too I wanted to mention is there is what's called the lamppost metaphor, because this is actually Michael Neal is his name. Michael Neal, what he refers to is be the first to be totally committed to listening to them. So I know we spoke yesterday about some things about reaching out to some people. If you're proposing swim lessons, proposing something, and a lot of times people may turn off. Like the D word, the drowning word. We're talking about different things, and they will turn off and won't want to listen to what it is we're saying. Sometimes we have to have that conversation so we can learn what their interests are, so we can know. So, like in a lamppost metaphor, the lamppost just is there. What he's referring to with that is you can sit and talk to a lamppost, and the lamppost never talks back. But people get what it is that they want to say off their chest. It's and they don't keep it inside, and maybe they'll have a discussion with that. The other thing too is needy is creepy. When we feel like we need people, and we come across that they are, or we're being really needy, and that we need them to be part of our program, we need them. That's what referring to as needy is creepy. Think of a car salesman, insurance salesman, because they need the sale, whatever the case is. Needy is creepy. I used to refer to this as pull the carrot back. People want what they can't have, and so so just make sure that we want more people to be involved with what it is that we're doing. So more people involved in water safety, more people spreading our message, spreading our word. Just don't be too needy about that. They will come, and let's see. The other thing is just slow down. I think maybe that's an area that I need to focus more on. I'm a workaholic. I get up early, I get working. My brain is on overload all the time. It's constantly going, going, going. I don't know if anybody else is like that. Um, here I am at OSU Hospital, doing work. I've got my, basically, I've got a book that I'm reading. Where, if you want anywhere, I'm getting some of this information. It's a book. It's called The Prosperous Coach, and I have the written book, and then I also have the audiobook. I like audiobooks, but I also have, my wife is here with me, so whoops, she's here, and we've got my laptop. Going to finish up editing up podcast so we can get that out today by noon. That was a podcast I recorded last month. That's actually going to be with Paige Lacroix. Paige is part of the Kelsey Code. I don't know if she's here, but she's in Toronto, Canada. She is a swim instructor. She teaches the little ones, but she's in Canada. Should be a good episode. She's got some good things, but she also has a podcast. She interviews a lot of aquatic professionals. So if somebody's looking to jump on some additional podcasts, this might be a great place for you to reach out to her. I know she'll be looking for additional interviews, things like that, to share stories and everything. So, but that's pretty much, really all I have here today. I don't have much, anything else much to really talk about. I didn't really prepare because got up early. We headed over here to OSU Hospital, and now it's just kind of like hurry up and wait type things. If anybody has ever been to a hospital waiting room for surgery, it takes a while sometimes to get out and all those good things. But hopefully you've got your coffee. If you are, who are we going to reach out to today? My intention is to maybe talk to somebody here today at the hospital, hand out one of our cards. I've got, I do have something. If somebody's looking for, let me see if I can. I have these. This is, I don't know. I think that might be backwards. At least it is on my screen. I don't know about on your screen. But what this is actually a postcard. I got these from Vistaprint. That's my daughter's picture on there. And this is a postcard. You can actually mail and put a stamp on it. But let's see. So this is something here. It's a thank you card. So when I have a conversation with people, if I have their physical address, especially if they're aquatics professionals, people that have a pool or something like that, it just says thank you for pledging your time and energy to make pools and water safer. It has my daughter's name, her birth date, date of death. It says listen to our podcast. It has my office number and my cell phone number. And it just says thank you. And then on the back, it talks a little bit about our mission and to decrease drownings and the numbers of drownings here in the United States. And then it just gives my email address and, again, my phone numbers, and it has a little place. You can put this in an envelope, mail it. It's just something personal, so versus sending them a text message, if you will, or something like that. So that's a great idea. That would be something that, you can pick up these, I think, 50 or 100 of these for, what do we pay for those? Maybe $35, something like that, or $100. $100, and then, or actually less than that. Then we have some pamphlets and brochures too, just so you know, and talks a little bit about our story. Has some pictures. Again, it has my daughter's name, the Kelsey Code. Has my little slogan on the front: "Can't swim, don't go in." But it talks about water safety, and drowning is a public health crisis. And again, it on the back gives a little bit of about, and also talks a little bit about our mission, things like that. These are just really great things. So when I get out and about in the public, I take these with me. And the goal is to strike up a conversation, talk to somebody, pass these out. So always focused on trying to reach one new person. Let me take a look here. Allison, you said something here. Let me see what... Yeah, no, good point. Once you get that done, Allison, on for for your local preschools, would love to be able to share that with the group if you would like, if that's something you'd like to do. Maybe I know you and I talked about maybe doing a joint interview here for our coffee break. Maybe that might once you that might be something interesting to jump on here and kind of share a little bit about what you're doing and how you're taking that to the preschools and how we can maybe and if you have that and if it's shareable, maybe we can help you get it out into preschools and things like that in our area if that's something that would work. I don't know. You can tell me a little bit more about it later, but that would be it'd be interesting to know. That way, if there's other people here that would want to be able to utilize that idea too. So again, I think preschools is very, very important, especially if we get into education and school systems. You're leaving out that most vulnerable because what kindergarten starts 5, most people 5, 6 years of age. So, leading cause of drowning children ages 1 to 4. So those are preschool. In some cases, the kids don't even get involved in preschool until what, 2, 3, maybe 3, 4 years old. So, we definitely need things like that in the preschools. People that homeschool, that's another big area. And everything. Babysitters, I think, is another key point too. That might be a great area to reach out to babysitters. For example, my daughter was with a babysitter that day. So, yeah, it's the stats is. I think, for example, the stats I have here in my brochure. You see here. I refer to it as drowning as a public health crisis, and it said, and I just said in here, it says, according to the CDC, drowning is the leading cause of unintentional accidental death to children ages 1 to 4, and it's the second leading cause of accidental death to children, 5 to 14. In addition, data shows 37 to 41% of the adults in the United States do not know how to swim, and nearly doubles based on socioeconomical financial environments, which means they couldn't even save their own children if they wanted to. And nearly 20% of all drownings occur in a pool with a lifeguard. So, good morning, Crystal. How are you? So that's something I share on the back of my pamphlet. That's the only stat. That's the only stats that I really share, and I share it coming from the CDC. So I let them know that it comes from the CDC. And then I give some other basic facts about adults and swimming, and that talking about if they had to save their children, some percentages and numbers there. That's only stat. But other than that, we talk a little bit about us. It talks about I always say if you can't swim, don't go in. That's. The point of that is it's really the opposite. I really understand if your children don't know how to swim or you don't know how to swim. What it really boils down to is I know you're going to get in the water. People are still going to put their children in the water. Yeah, hang on a second here. Yeah, and I think you touched on an interesting point too, Allison, in Florida, and I know Crystal's is in Texas, and we have several people part of this group that are from Florida and in Texas. So there is a huge element there, especially with the snowbirds that come out of the north. People that retire and families come down from the north for visits with their grandparents and families like that, and they don't know how to swim. So that's real important. And the other stat is I think it's 66% of adults that drown know how to. The 66% of them know how to swim. So I think especially in Florida, and you look at the coastlines, a lot of people get in trouble in rip currents. I believe, and that I think most people that live around the oceans and the coastal areas, they know the flag system. They know what to look for. They know a little bit about. They know a little bit about the rip currents. It's people like, not necessarily like me. I understand rip currents. I know the flag system, but But what I'm getting at is it's the people that vacation, from, mid America. They go to the coast, they vacation. They don't understand because we hear about that. So I know those are a big thing, and that's something I know I'm looking at as an outreach to, for vacations, AAA, different, travel agencies, things like that, to maybe get information out to people that are traveling to the coast, going on cruise ships, cruise lines, getting some information out. So I think this is a great venue, and some great ideas, and when we come up with something, share that, and I'll be more than happy. I can send people information on these. I got these from Vistaprint, and they're very inexpensive. You don't I think you can get like 40 of them or 50 of them at a whack. But definitely think of putting something like this, a thank you card, together. It doesn't have to, if you don't have a child that drowned, but it doesn't have to be that. But it just can be a thank you for having that conversation, because sometimes people may not be ready to, for whatever reason, they may not be ready to make that decision. And so again, we're talking about that half-life of enthusiasm. And so we want to make sure we keep our name, keep our information, keep things in front of them. And what I found on these, people told me, is that they pin these on their bulletin board. They pin them on their cork board next to their desk or something like that, so it's always there. And and when I have a conversation with somebody on LinkedIn, if I can get their address, mailing address, or if it's on their LinkedIn page, I mail this. They get a physical piece of mail from me, so that way they know we're a real person and we're deadly serious. We're deadly serious about our topic and what we're talking about. So let's see. Yeah, you can see my wife is hard at work. Look.
Hey, my mind's
She's doing a puzzle. I It keeps her brain busy. So otherwise, I'm on Facebook now. I'm going to have to jump off here and get to work on my podcast and just finish up editing that up so I can put that out at noon today. So you guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. We will be back here with another live. So hopefully this came through fine. Everybody sees everything fine. I've got my energy drink to keep me going. So we'll talk at you all later. Share information. Keep up the conversations. And if you need anything, shoot me a message, direct message. Or if you need to chat, whatever. I know Jennifer and I jumped on the phone yesterday talking about the importance of conferences like the NDPA conference. I believe if you can learn one thing, those are always important. So anything we can do to help or in a conversation or anything there, let us know. And we will talk at y'all guys later. We'll see you. Guys are awesome. Keep up the great work.